Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for listening. Today, I'm going to share with you guys what I've learned in my research on the Fugitive Slave Law of 1850. If some of you guys don't know, this was one of the most controversial and harmful laws in American history. This law basically said that people who escaped from slavery had to be returned to their enslavers, even if they were found living in free states. Not only that, but it also forced regular citizens, local officials, and even judges in the North to help return people to slavery, whether they wanted to or not. This was against their own will. But what really stood out to me in my research was the resistance. Enslaved people, free Black communities, and even some state governments pushed back against the law in big and small ways. Their courage and determination helped bring more attention to the fight against slavery, which helped bring the country closer to the Civil War. I chose this topic because it connects law, politics, and personal bravery. At first, I just wanted to know more about the fugitive slave law and what it really said. But as I kept reading, I became more interested in how people responded to it. The law was clearly unfair, and it caused pain for many people, but what inspired me was how these people decided to fight back. Escaped slaves risked everything for freedom, and other people stood up to the government. Even some judges and lawyers found ways to resist using the legal system because they didn't think it was right. I realized that this story wasn't just about a law, it was about people who refused to stay silent in the face of injustice. This topic is a powerful part of American history because it shows both the cruelty of slavery and the strength of those who resisted it. Enslaved people weren't just sitting around waiting to be freed. Many of them were making brave decisions every day, like running away, fighting in court, or seeking help from Black and white allies. Their stories help us understand how resistance to slavery happened long before the Emancipation Proclamation or the Civil War. Also, this law helps explain why the North and South became so divided. It forced Northern states to choose either follow a federal law that they believed was wrong or fight back, which kind of just summarizes do the right thing or go along with everyone else. That conflict only grew stronger over time and pushed the country toward war. Some takeaways that I learned while reading these books. Let's start off with resistance being powerful. In the book, The Captive's Quest for Freedom, it explains how enslaved people who escaped didn't just disappear into the North. They made their escapes public, like they wanted people to know. Their stories even made the national news. This pushed back Northern communities to organize and force the government to respond. Their bravery created a ripple effect that changed politics for the long run. Another one was Alfred Brophy's article, which shows how the law caused serious moral questions for judges and legal officials. Following the law meant sending people back into slavery, but ignoring the law meant breaking federal rules, which kind of left them in a little bit of a predicament. They didn't know what to do. This put people, especially in the North, in a tough spot. Many started questioning the law should be followed at all. Another one, we have Stanley Campbell's book, which was The Slave Catchers. It strictly talks about how the people carried the law out. There were slave catchers, federal agents, and even local police working together to capture escaped slaves. Some towns went along with it, but others resisted. Sometimes this led to things being violent, which created real tension between the federal government and local communities. Then we have Kevin McCullen. He writes about how his he writes about poets like Walt Whitman responding to the law. At first, Whitman didn't really say much. He was staying quiet. But over time, he became more outspoken and used his poems to protest on what the law represented. This shows that cultural voices also play a big role in fighting back. And thankfully, to this day, we still see some big cultural voices trying to make a change. We have, last but not least, we have Peter Wigner's article. It explains how the law's failure actually hurt the South in the long run instead of trying to help it. When the law wasn't always enforced, many Southern leaders felt that the federal government couldn't be trusted to protect slavery. In other needs, they were failing. This loss of faith made some Southerners push even harder for recession. It helped lead the country toward the Civil War. While I was doing this research, it made me think differently about the role of law in history and in our world today. At first, I thought laws were supposed to protect people, but over time, we can see that laws can actually be used to harm people, especially when they're created by people in power without concern for justice for any people. What inspired me most was seeing how ordinary people pushed back against the law. Even people that feel like their voice isn't enough, it is enough. Enslaved people who ran, free black people who protected them, and even judges found legal loopholes to help them. And all of these people took risks to stand up for what was right. It made me realize how important courage and resistance is, even when the system is against you. It also helped me think critically about the laws and systems we have today and how we right now can speak up about something when something feels wrong. To wrap things up, researching the Fugitive Slave Law of 1850 helped me understand how one law created huge conflicts across the country, and how acts of resistance, both big and small, helped move the country toward justice. This story is more about than just history. It's about people, people who risk their lives for freedom, and people who choose to fight for others when they didn't have to. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this helped you learn a little bit more about something like this in such an important chapter in history.